Hello, everyone. This is a bit of a rant because I've seen a lot of this kind of shit happen before throughout my time on YouTube, and before that, my time as a online player on Warcraft 3, and before that, my time in high school. I've seen articles like this just come up, and it's always left me livid because I've always questioned the idea of religion. When I was when I was like roughly like 12, 13, I tried the whole Lutheran church thing because they're kind of loose on the whole doctrine thing, as far as attending church every Sunday and all other good shit, but it did not jive with me. Just the community didn't click with me. Granted, I met plenty of nice people, just genuinely lovely, nice people that I still look fondly upon to this day, even though we don't speak much anymore, but I still look back, I'm like, I met some good people. I met some very nice people. It's a shame we don't keep in touch anymore, but I met some good people. And even before that, I met some good people in various churches that I attended. Granted, I'm not religious. I went through the whole oh, I'm atheistic, oh, I'm agnostic, but right now I'm to the point where I'm like, I'm just not religious. I don't really subscribe to any doctrine, if you will. I'm open-minded to a religion that will actually come and click with me, but otherwise, I just say, I'm just not religious. I'm non-religious. I get some of the ideas that people believe in, and I'm fine with that. I'm okay with people believing in God, believing in Allah, or whatever the fuck. Believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. That is totally fine with me. But that brings us to the video I'm kind of reacting to / adding dialogue to, which Jeff Holiday, if you want to monetize this video for your channel, go for it. That's totally fine. I have a certain passion when it comes to this shit, but the main thing I want to get out of this is just conveying a message. If you want to monetize, that's fine, because I don't monetize any of my videos. So if you want to jump in and just say, hey, I want to monetize this video, go for it. You have my permission. That's totally cool. Otherwise, let's listen to what Jeff Holiday has to say about this. Sorry, I sound a little shaky because I am that fucking livid about this shit, about fucking faith healing. So, off the bat, for headphone users, for anybody that's watching this video right now, if I go onto a tangent where I yell into the mic, I apologize. This is just something that I'm very, I would say passionate about, but I get very emotional when children are involved because it just baffles me how stupid some people can be. It really does. Anyways, Jeff Holiday, take it away, bro.
Hello everyone, Jeff Holiday here, and I have another heavy video for you. Super heavy. So buckle up. This one's not going to be the easiest one to listen to, much like any of the other ones where we have to talk about children. Now this story is as old as there is, well, people. It's the basic idea that when you have a faith-based system that teaches really, really bad ideas, the people that will always suffer the worst are children. Always. And the main reason for this is very obvious, because children are the least likely to be able to defend themselves or to speak up when there is something dangerous or bad happening to them. It's always going to be the most vulnerable people who will fall prey and be harmed when there is a harmful idea in place. Now this thing's been hitting pretty close to home for a long time now. You see, I live in the state of Oregon, and for some strange reason, Oregon has a tendency to attract some really loony fucking people. And this does happen all over the country. In fact, it happens all over the world. But I tend to hear about these more often in my state than any other place, really anywhere. And what we're going to be talking about today is when a belief in a faith can be so strong that people will forego traditional medical treatments, and in the end, the result is dead kids.
All right, so I'm sure plenty of you have heard about, faith healing and stuff like that, where basically people put their quote-unquote trust in God to heal their kids of, sickness, whether it be diabetes, the flu, cold, syphilis, whatever the case may be. I'm just throwing out random diseases out there that people have contracted throughout, history and stuff like that. But, in this modern day and era, it's like, put your trust in fucking medicine. Look at how far medicinal science has come. Look at how far we've come with curing diseases and stuff like that, with the vaccinations that we have available for kids and all that other good stuff. It's like, why digress yourself or regress yourself into thinking that God's going to make everything better? He won't. And I mean, if we apply Christian logic to how God is and what he is and what he does and how he acts, he doesn't have a favoritism towards anyone. He is completely and utterly unbiased. I don't want to assume people's doctrine, because I know the Bible says certain things, but to put your trust in a God, if you will, to cure your kid, it defies all logic. It really does. And again, I'm non-religious. I don't think there is a God. I don't see any evidence of there being a God, which I guess by default makes me atheist, but I don't want to toss around the atheist name, because I'm not completely saying there is no way in shape or form that there is a God. I'm just saying, as far as the evidence laid before me says, I don't think there is a God. I don't. Now, if contradicting evidence comes along and says, hey, guess what? There might be a God. I'll be like, you know what? I'm open-minded to that. So I guess in a way I still am atheistic. I just don't want to toss that label out in my name, if that makes any fucking sense. But anyways, Jeff Holiday, continue on.
So we'll start off with the latest example. This one comes from Oregon City, which is an outlying town next to Portland, Oregon. Authorities are investigating the death of a baby girl born to two members of an Oregon church that embraces faith healing. Sergeant Dan Krause of the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office says a 24-year-old woman gave birth to two girls at her parents' home in Oregon City on March 5th. One of the babies had breathing problems and died a few hours later. A medical examiner contacted after the death determined the surviving infant needed professional medical treatment, and the family was persuaded to take that step. The parents are members of the Followers of Christ Church, a congregation that shuns traditional medicine in favor of prayer and anointing the sick with oils. Several church members have been convicted of crimes for failing to seek medical care for their children, including the sister of the woman who delivered the twins. Krause says investigators are collecting evidence to determine if charges are warranted in this case. So it's pretty bad. Pretty rough. This couple obviously could have sought out medical treatment when they were going into labor, and instead they did not. One of the babies had breathing problems and sadly passed away. And this is pretty common, but it's also not really the worst example. You see, that's not the only church in Oregon that's been doing this kind of shit. There's another one called the Church of the Firstborn, which has had
80 child deaths linked to Oregon church. Parents say it is a matter of faith. If your faith commands that children be killed, what fucking God are you worshiping? What fucking God commands that 80 children just be killed, just off the bat? Here's the thing. I'm trying my utmost not to offend, Christians, Catholics, what have you, that they genuinely believe in God, but they also see how fucked up this shit is. I'm trying not to just piss you guys off or offend you guys or belittle you guys, because I know you guys get it. You fucking get how screwed up this shit is. But at the same time, it's really hard to wrap my brain around this shit, because when it comes to kids just getting killed, it's fucking hard. It really fucking is, because I don't want to get emotional here, but I'm getting emotional here because when I think about kids dying, it tears me up inside. It really fucking does. I see this shit all over the world, people getting killed in wars and whatnot, and it fucks me up. It really does. And seeing this shit, it fucks me up, because I don't want to see this shit on my news. There's a lot of shit I don't want to see on the news, but this really hits home, if you will. So fuck. This video's a lot harder than I thought it would be. But anyways, Jeff Holiday, take it away.
Over 80 children deaths attributed to its beliefs and practices since 1976. Now, 80 children in 40 years, well, That doesn't seem like a lot, but given this is a very small church, a very small congregation, well, that's actually quite a lot. That's about 2 kids a year. That's kind of fucked up. Church of the Firstborn
2 kids a year. 2 kids a year from one single church. That's too many. Like, come the fuck on, people. Come the fuck on. Do we not understand that, hey, maybe, just maybe, we should seek out medicinal purposes. Maybe we should seek out medicinal help for our fucking kids that we care about, that we love, that we give a fucking shit about. I know this does not represent, like, you know, what some of you may perceive as Christian faith. I know there are some Christians out there that are just as livid as I'm, even more so livid because this is their faith that's just getting shit upon because of this crap. I understand there are those of you out there that are like, no, fuck this shit. I know you won't use my words verbatim, but you will, you know, mentally be like, no, I don't want this to be a part of my faith. I don't want this to be my thing. This is not my idea of Christianity. This is not it. We understand that there is science behind, you know, some of the medicinal cures, the medicinal practices that, hey, you know what? Sometimes we just need to go and say, hey, doctor, help us out. Because you know what? Hey, in their minds, in the Christians' minds, hey, maybe that doctor is blessed by God and that doctor can cure their kid, can make their kid better because God has blessed them. I know for those of you that are atheistic or agnostic or non-religious, you may be thinking, well, Luca, that's bullshit. But you know what? In that Christian person's mind, that's what makes sense to them. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. As long as that parent is getting that kid the help they need, who the fuck cares what they believe? Who the fuck cares what God they worship, what deity they worship? Who fucking cares? They cared enough about their kid to get the help that they fucking needed. That is the fucking bottom line, is that that parent got the help that kid needed and that kid is going to live. That is what fucking matters. At the end of the day, that is what fucking matters.
Preaches that their members, even young children, should forego medical treatment and instead rely on God alone. This belief extends even to the treatment of manageable disease and chronic conditions such as pneumonia and diabetes. So when Sybil Rossiter's teacher told her parents that she was worried that the 12-year-old had lost a considerable amount of weight in a single month and looked in ill health, her parents did not take her to the doctor. Instead, they relied on the church's teachings and prayer and watched their once vibrant little girl wither away and die from complications of untreated diabetes.
And how unfucking necessary was that? Like, if the parents of this child are watching right now, I hope you realize how unfucking necessary that shit was. God, this watching Jeff Holiday do this, I understand. Jeff Holiday, he's a parent. Okay, he has his own kid. I can understand this being a difficult kind of video to make, but me having the siblings that I have and just knowing the people that I know, this really invokes emotions out of me that wouldn't normally be evoked. So, you know, Jeff, I'm not trying, you know, Jeff Holiday, well, you know what, I'll just let him continue. I'm not trying to put words in the mouth, if you will. I'm just trying to I'm trying to help spread the message that he's trying to spread out there. I'm trying to use my channel to help spread the message that he himself is spreading based on this faith healing bullshit.
Now, this is what's really fucked up about this. Sybil's mother, Winona, was well aware of the risks of refusing treatment. As a young person, she watched her 7-year-old brother die from a treatable form of leukemia when her own parents refused to seek medical help. And if that wasn't enough, her parents actually were charged in his death. So, her father received probation for his part in the crime. Her mother was acquitted. So obviously, she knew that there was legal ramifications, even since she was a young girl. Yet she still brought up her own daughter in the same manner, in the same treatment, and her daughter died. Sometimes one hard lesson, I guess, just isn't enough. Yet while the Rossiter's decision could land them in jail in Oregon, in some states it is still perfectly legal for parents to deny medical care or rely on unproven faith-based methods for their child. based on their religion.
Hold on. Are you fucking serious? I know the cutoff line is down there, which I like the whole point was me to like keep shit hidden. So let me just lower it. If I can get the fucking thing to work. All right, there we go.
Religious beliefs. And this is really the crux of the issue. This is where it gets so complicated, because the idea behind this is that the pursuit of one's faith should be allowed no matter what, that you can practice however you want as long as it hurts no one. But when it hurts someone, then you get into this argument of whether or not faith is more important than the basic ability for someone to receive the necessary care for them to survive. And there's also a bit of a distinction you can make between people who die, unfortunately, because they did not seek medical treatment, or people who die because they had a preventable condition and did not seek medical treatment. Say you have somebody who falls and breaks their leg and it goes septic and they decide they're going to pray away the infection and they die. That's a little bit different. That's making, at that point, a distinct decision that you are not going to do something about an immediate condition. Whereas if you have something that is a long, drawn-out condition, such as diabetes, or you've contracted pneumonia, something that can be easily taken care of and managed, and then you willfully decide to ignore all symptoms as you get progressively worse and worse, that again, kind of an issue. But if we're just talking about adults, then so what? Make up your own fucking decision. You're a grown-ass adult. You want to fucking die because you don't want to go to the doctor? Fine. Fuck it. Goodbye. But kids don't get that option. Kids don't understand that. They are not adults. They do not have, let alone the right to be able to demand something be done because they're still under the guardianship of their parents. They don't have the mental or emotional capacity to make that decision for themselves. So where do we draw the line? When is it at the point where this is too far? Where is it where we say your faith is not worth the life of a child who cannot make the decision of whether or not they want to live or not? Where is that line? When do we get to that line, and then what do we do about it? Because I gotta tell you, this last one we're gonna finish it off with is going to fuck you up. It fucked me up. So here we go. So now we...
Okay, so... Okay, I guess it spoils itself with the title there, because I've seen my fair share of these faith healing videos these faith healing articles, and every time I just sit here and think, like, how fucking stupid were these parents? Like, how... And, it's not even... Technically, it couldn't even be their fault, because it could just be how they were brought up. It could be their parents' fault for bringing up their kids to believe in such a nonsensical method of just treating, disease and illness, something that could just easily be taken care of with a simple, like, shot to the, just a simple shot, really. And, them rely like, well, you know what? God will decide the fate of my child and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, that's not how this shit works. Not entirely. And, you can even take how Christians interpret the Bible and how they interpret God and all those. So they could say that, you know what? The doctor is blessed by God, therefore the doctor will be able to cure my child. That, like, if it makes sense to them, I'm all for it. If it makes sense to them that this doctor is blessed by God and therefore the doctor's going to be able to cure their kid, go for it. But don't just simply, like, sit there and, put your hands in a prayer cusp and say, oh, God, fix my child. That's not how this shit works. That isn't how this shit works. And the number of articles about faith healing and all that other shit should fucking prove it to these parents to believe this stupid shit. It should prove it to them that, hey, guess what? Guess fucking what? You need to go to a fucking doctor. You sometimes need to go to a physical human fucking being with medical expertise that will be able to make your kid better. Sometimes God just ain't fucking enough. So tired of reading. It's 20 goddamn 17. And people still believe this fucking bullshit. There is no fucking excuse for this shit. If you believe in faith healing, consult your fucking psychiatrist, consult a psychologist, understand what mental issues you have, and get the proper medication for said mental issues. There's no reason a kid should die because people believe in quote-unquote faith healing. No fucking excuse whatsoever. There's no reason why in fucking 2017 we should be seeing articles about this shit. How fucking stupid are you people that believe in this shit? And I know, it's a small minority of people that believe this. It's a very, 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 very small minority. But you know what? At the same time, it's a kid that did not deserve this at all. A kid just getting started on their life, just barely even getting started on their life and getting killed because their parents are fucking retards. Because their parents are fucking bottled up. They bottled up their brains into this stupid nonsense. And you know what? You know who should really, really be offended? More so than me? More so than just parents in general? Christian parents. They should be offended. More so than me. More so than a parent that is non-religious. They should be the ones that are really pissed off at this shit. They should be the ones coming out of here and saying, no, screw this, fuck this, no, this is not how our shit works. I know they won't phrase it that way, but that should be the general message. That should be what they're out there saying. Oh, but instead we're going to bitch and whine and complain about Beauty and the Beast having a gay couple in the movie. Because priorities or the LGBT or whatever the fuck. I'm not trying to shit on Christianity. I'm really not. I'm trying to shit on the people that just take it too far. And there are atheists that take it too far. There are other religious people that take shit too far. I won't get into the nitty-gritty details of that, but you get it, right? You get that there are just people that take ideas and ideologies and they just take it too goddamn far. So anyways, and fuck, we're not even halfway through the video, so what the fuck is this about? I mean, I know it says Alex Radita, I believe that's the name. 15, weighed just 16 kilograms after during a lifetime of abuse and neglect. I'm assuming that's 15 years old. I'll just let Jeff Holiday explain this shit because fuck me, I'm livid. I'm upset. I'm sad. I'm angry. I'm a fucking complete clusterfuck of emotions right now because of this shit. Just because of all the fucking articles I've read, all the shit that I've seen, all the people I've met that have been through this shit. It goes on and on and on. I'm not trying to say me personally, I'm hurt, I'm sad, I'm angry, blah, blah, blah. No, it's everybody else that I've met in my lifetime that I'm kind of I remember that person, I remember this person, I remember what they went through, and God, that shit sucks. It's more about them, less about me. Anyways.
We come to the horrible case of Alex Radita from Calgary in Canada. Alexandre Radita, 15, weighed just 16 kilograms when he was found dead at his home in Calgary, Canada after suffering years of untreated diabetes. His parents, Emile, 60, and Rodisa Radita, 54, had made it their mission to isolate Alex from anyone who could monitor his insulin treatment since his diagnosis at the age of 2, a court heard. The Raditas were found guilty of first-degree murder on Friday at the end of the trial that showed harrowing testimony from witnesses, including a social worker who tried desperately to save the boy. Paramedic Deborah Baumbach gave distressing evidence regarding the condition of Alex's body when she was called to the scene of his death in 2013. She described him as emaciated to the point where he appeared mummified, Judge Karen Horner said at the couple's sentencing hearing. His face had no visible flesh left and his left jaw had open sores so deep she could see his jawbone. There was nothing left of his stomach as he was just so extraordinarily skinny. She estimated his waistline to be approximately 3 inches. He was dressed in a diaper and a t-shirt. His eyes were open. He was not breathing.
What the fuck?
The court heard there was no doubt that the Raditas, who have 7 other children, knew the damage they were inflicting on Alex. They actively prevented him from receiving treatment and ensured he was completely reliant on them. Mr. and Miss Radita intended to and did isolate Alex from anyone who could intervene or monitor his insulin treatment aside from themselves, Judge Horner said. Alex died as a result of bacterial sepsis brought on by extreme starvation. His physical condition at death was not a sudden or quick occurrence, but rather took place over months and probably, years. The evidence underscores that the Raditas were well aware how ill Alex was and still refused to treat his medical condition with proper insulin protocol and medical care. They knew he was dying. Witnesses testified that the couple refused to accept that their son had diabetes and failed to treat his disease until he had to be admitted to hospital near death in British Columbia in 2003. Following this time in the hospital, Alex had been placed in foster care, where he reportedly thrived. Tragically, less than a year later, a court ruled that he should be returned to his parents, who subsequently moved their family out of the area. During the trial, the social worker who fought desperately to keep Alex in foster care likened the decision by Judge J.G. Cohen to a death sentence. Patricia McDonald did everything in her power to stop then 5-year-old boy from being returned to his parents in 2004, after he was seized by social services the year before. At the time of his 2003 removal, Alex had been emaciated from untreated diabetes and so close to death that one doctor testified he would have had just hours to live if he didn't receive treatment. I had to hold on to the bench in front of me, and I just said under my breath, "He's just sentenced Alex to death," Miss McDonald told CBS after completing her testimony last week. This was Alex. Alex died at 15, so emaciated and skinny after suffering more agony than most human beings will ever know in their entire lifetimes. And this happened because of the direct and intentional malicious treatment that was done to him by his parents. And why would they do such a thing? Faith. Because of their faith. Now, I'm not going to be the kind of person to say that all faith is bad, like fuck your religion or anything like that. Not at all. What I will say is that if your religion comes at the cost of a child's life, then I have a problem with it. I have a severe problem with it. And this kind of thing cannot keep happening. Pseudoscience and faith have basically the same problem. People forego their ability to trust in all the things that we've achieved as a species, scientifically, medically, and instead rely on their feelings or bad information or manipulative people. And when that happens, the most innocent of us are always going to be the ones that fall victim to it and have the most tragic ends. It's difficult for me because I try and think, I try and put myself into the position of the people who would do such a thing. That your belief in a God is so strong that you'll forego your own child's life and just simply believe this as a test. How fucking selfish is that? How incredibly, unbelievably selfish and shitty is that? You want validation of your faith so much that you will let your own child die. I don't get it. I mean, why not just believe that, hey, you know, God made man, man made medicine, so why shouldn't we use the fruits of God's labor, the brilliance that came from his own creation? No, somehow, magically, this is all bad? Why? Because some dusty old fart who's carrying on an ignorant, stupid, backward fucking belief from years and years and years ago tells you that selectively, objectively, this one thing, oh, that's bad.
All right, so I paused the video there just to do some fact checking and do my own little tidbit of research, and all the illustrations he listed before, that's why this kid died. Because his parents were believers in faith healing. They thought any kind of outside interference would be detrimental. And, I want to say I have words, but I don't, because of just how baffling and just utterly sad this shit is. God. I knew this video was going to be emotional for me, but I can't imagine how it must have been for Jeff. For him to maintain this composure, being a parent himself, just wow. Just wow. Anyways, I'm going to let him unfold the last couple of minutes. I don't want a 50-minute video long, or a 50-minute long video like I did with Suit Yourself. Granted, with what happened with Suit Yourself, it was a bit more, for me, it was more carefree, less personal. It was more like, hey, excuse me. Hey, this is more of the bullshit we need to address. This one hits a little bit closer to home. A lot closer to home, actually.
Modern amenities and everything, running water, toilets, air conditioning, refrigeration, those are fine. Those man-made creations, those are fucking fine. Oh, but treating diabetes to save your starving, withering away fucking child, no, that's bad. That's anti-God. I mean,
yeah.
Look, I know that this video is not going to be reaching the ears and changing the minds of people who are so religiously indoctrinated that they would put their children at risk. I understand that. I'm not that fucking naive. But this will hopefully reach some people who might see these types of things happening. And for the love of sweet fuck, if you see this kind of thing happening, tell someone, report it, get fucking involved. That kid cannot do it on their own. And if the parents are so brainwashed they will put their children at risk, they're brainwashed enough to do fucking anything. They are crazy. They are fucking crazy people. They need to be stopped. We need to get tougher on this type of shit. We really do. We find ourselves in these ridiculous fights with Child Protective Services over the most inane and stupid shit. Yet at the same time, because we're so afraid, we're so terrified of pissing off and offending somebody over their fucking religion that this happens? How? Why? Who the fuck answers for this? The best case scenario is after it happens, they go to jail. And that's only if they live in the right state where that type of thing can be prosecuted, because there's plenty where they'll never get prosecuted. And they usually have a lot more fucking kids. It has to stop. It has to. This shit has just gotta fucking stop.
It's 2017. Yes, this shit needs to end. There is no fucking reason for this shit to begin with. No goddamn reason in the United goddamn States of America for this fucking shit to happen to kids in this fucking country. If you see this shit happening, if you see parents acting like these motherfuckers that Jeff Holiday just pointed out in these articles, call them out. Point them out to law enforcement. And you know what? If your state doesn't enforce this kind of law, fucking mail your senators, mail your representatives. Tell them that, hey, you know what? This shit, it doesn't fucking fly. It's not right. What God commands this type of shit? Whatever God commands this type of shit is evil. Is an evil fucking God if a God commands this. And I don't think the Christian God commands this. I don't think so. I don't believe in said Christian God, but if said God exists, I don't think they'd be okay with this shit. I don't. I really don't. But whatever it takes to convince people to understand that this shit is fucking wrong, I say go with it. Go with it. Because sometimes a kid just needs legitimate medical attention. Like, pray your shit away. That doesn't fucking work. That's not how this shit works. You cannot pray your problems away. That is not how this shit works. Hell, even as a kid, when I was, under the Christian philosophy, if you will, I was told, like, hey, praying your shit away, that ain't gonna fix it. You can pray for the confidence and whatnot. You can, essentially, it's hoping for it to come to you. You pray to it, you pray to God for your own self-confidence, and you hope that the confidence comes to you. And when it does, hey, you feel good about yourself. When it doesn't, it's like, you know what, maybe I did something wrong along the lines. I get that kind of shit. That's how this fucking healing shit works. Oh my god, this shit's so fucking retarded. I can't wrap my brain around it. I'm trying to make sense of this shit, but what I'm really trying to do It's not shit on Christianity or any religion. As Jeff Holiday has illustrated himself. He's saying, like, I'm not trying to shit on anybody's beliefs. I'm just saying this kind of shit, it doesn't fucking fly. It doesn't fucking work. It doesn't fly. It doesn't work. It doesn't apply to reality. You cannot bend reality to work in ways that you want it to. That's just not how shit works. When a kid needs medical treatment, a kid should get medical treatment. But I don't want this video going longer than it has to. You guys know where I'm coming from by this point. You have to know where I'm coming from at this point. I don't want to ramble myself into a fucking circle. So anyways, Jeff, again, Jeff Holiday, if you want to monetize this video, that's totally fine. That's totally fine by me. This is me kind of sort of reacting to your video, kind of putting my 10 cents on the video that you made. But anyways, Jeff Holiday, let's get this last minute and 30 some odd seconds out of the way.
Anyway, that's going to be it for me today. If you find any of these crazy, crazy things happening, bad pseudoscience, bad examples of faith, people tossing away any type of science literacy or understanding or anything like that, by all means, please go to my subreddit, reddit.com/r/Jeff Holiday. Leave me links. It's the best way to drop information for me to take a look at. Because if there is enough of this happening, if there's enough of this kind of shit going on a weekly basis, I do still want to do some sort of wrap-up video where I do get more involved in this pseudoscience topic again. Because I've missed it, I really want to do it, and I think it's important. So please, help me continue the conversation. Hit up my subreddit, we'll have a chat, we'll talk about it. I would appreciate it, very, very much so. And for everybody else out there, I hope this doesn't wreck your day too much. And try to keep Alex in your mind, at least a little bit. Remember him, remember the shit that happened to him. And when that type of situation comes up, do the right thing. Try and have a good day. All right. Bye.
All right, so there you go. You have Jeff Holiday's Twitter, his Facebook handle, and his Patreon, which go support Jeff Holiday if you like his content. I will leave a link to all the other links he has down below based on the articles that he posted in his description. So I'll leave those in my own video here that I'm making. Again, this was a very emotional, touchy subject for me. And again, if you're religious, if you're Christian, Muslim, Judaism, whatever the case may be, if I've offended you, I admittedly apologize because... Like, here's the thing. I'm not about really caring about if I offend people, but when it comes to these sort of very deep subjects, these emotional subjects where it affects actual human lives, I'll go ahead and say, you know what, I'm sorry if I misportrayed some things, if I came across the wrong way, if I said the wrong things, or if I misconstrued a certain thing. The point is that we should all value human life. We should all value human life, especially kids that are just, they don't fully understand what's going on in the world. Again, I'm probably hitting beats that you guys probably already know this. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. I'm just saying, like, man, these are kids. And when a kid is, subject to violence and murder and sexual abuse and all that other shit that they should not be subject to, it really strikes a chord with me because that's... Like, I think about, like, what if I have my own kids and they go through this shit? It's like, how the fuck am I going to handle, like, explain to them what happened? And, even still, like, I have siblings that are, a decade younger than me. I have cousins that are a decade younger than me. And I know I have friends that have kids that, I'm kind of like an uncle to. And it's like, how would I explain this type of shit to them? Like, if I'm the one that has to explain it to them, how do I convey this message appropriately to them if this type of shit happens? And, I'm fucking blessed and then some by whether it be God or non-God or just luck in general. Karma is like, hey, look at that dude. Yeah, I'm going to bless him. Whatever the case may be, I have a good set of friends that I know personally. I have a good set of coworkers. I have a good workplace, really. Like, you would not believe how well I am taken care of in terms of my workplace, in terms of my friends, in terms of my family. I am well off. I really am. And I acknowledge that shit, that I have good people in my life. I really do. I'm single and I hate it, but I'm still well off. Like, I'm not sad. I'm not unhappy with my life. I'm just like, fuck, I wish I could, score a chick. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? I'm blessed. But there are people that just are simply not as well off as me. And I would love to get their message out there. I would love to get people's messages out there if, like with what happened to this guy and what happened to the other kids that have, died due to faith healing. Or, well, the lack thereof of faith healing. So that's the kind of point I'm trying to get across. So, with that being said, folks, give Jeff Holiday some love if you watch my video. Excuse me, sorry, this Dr. Pepper's kicking my ass right now. But thank you, Jeff Holiday, for this video. Again, if you want to monetize my video on your video, go for it. I'm totally cool with that. I'm totally happy to support it. I don't monetize my videos. That's why that's the secondary reason why I'm okay with it. But the other reason is because I did use your video in this video. But with that being said, folks, give Jeff Holiday, a subscribe. He's got some great content. He does a lot of good hangouts with people like Blair White, with Bering, and people like that. That the real skeptical-minded people, they don't really like to be called the skeptic community. But he does make some good, informative videos. Give him a shout, and especially check out his Quiplash videos. Fuck, the Quiplash videos he makes are fucking great. Just, if anything you want to take away from this guy, go check out his Quiplash streams. Oh my god, those are fucking brilliant. Anyway, folks, have a look at Blight. This has been Jeff Holiday's video about when faith harms children. And I hope to see you all for a much more brighter, happier video. Have a good Tuesday night. Well, actually, yeah, Tuesday night, because that's when this is being uploaded. So, anyway, folks, see you all next time.